when you sit around a table, if there's plenty of food, the conversation flows, all sorts of great things can happen. But if there's no food on the table, the only conversation is where we're going to get food. And we in Ohio and this country have been blessed because of farmers that we don't have to worry about that.
State Representatives Bob Peterson and Angie King, welcome to an on-the-road episode of Message from the House.
On the road, nice.
Inside Kasich Hall, we just got done with the Joint Legislative Agriculture Committee, which was very neat for everyone to come together and talk about a very important industry in Ohio. I want to just open by asking you both how you think that meeting went.
This is the first time that I actually sat on the committee. He's a member of the committee, so it's very great opportunity for me to hear directly. I was here last year, but was very impressed by our young people and their excitement and the enthusiasm that they have for agriculture.
Yeah, that was really impressive. They were so confident and so knowledgeable. I know that Rep. Kloppenstein mentioned that with one of the fair queens, but absolutely incredible. What did you take away, Rep. Peterson?
Well, this is one of the best meetings of the year, our committee meetings, because we're on site, because of how it just plays out. And 4-H and FFA, I mean, that's what they do. They're great leaders, future leaders of Ohio, and they do a great job of it.
Yeah. And I want to ask, what were a couple of the bigger topics that were discussed for folks that might not have been sitting in the meeting? But it did have a very notably large crowd today.
Great crowd. We're here at the Ohio State Fairgrounds that just completed some major remodeling, some incredible new buildings, a $460 million investment by the state of Ohio into this fairgrounds, one of the best in the nation right now. So certainly we talked about that, and then talked about the state of agriculture, and met some great young folks, 4-H FFA members from across the state.
And saw some animals.
Yes, I saw some animals, wildlife, as well as farm animals. I think also the takeaway from me, I really appreciated the emphasis on kind of the production as far as the importance of corn and pork producers and the impact it makes not only on Ohio's economy, but on our nation and worldwide. The Ohio farmers truly are feeding not only the nation, but the world.
And I do want to pause too to emphasize, we heard it from the committee, but almost everyone has an agriculture background that's out on that committee. So for you both, Rep. Peterson, I'll start with you if you just want to tell folks how you're involved in the industry.
Yeah, so I'm part of a family farming operation. I farmed my whole life, grew up on farm that I currently live on. Where it is corn, soybeans, wheat, and eggs, and it's a growing farm operation. Our son has been back farming for 4 years, and my father, in his 90s, still doesn't get out and drive the tractor, but still cares very much so. But what I believe is the backbone of Ohio.
Yeah.
Family farms, small businesses, family operations working together to grow a product or produce something.
That's incredible. Rep. King?
Well, I don't actively farm. I grew up in a farm family. My dad's in his early 80s, still farming wheat, soybeans, and corn. But I have the good fortune of representing Ohio's #1 ag district, House District 84, Olive Mercer, Northern Dark, all blazing. We're #1 in eggs, poultry, hogs, cattle, corn, and wheat. So just very blessed to represent the hardworking folks in my districts.
Yeah, thank you both for touching on that. I want to kind of get into what do you hope that Ohio's farmers got away from not only this discussion, but how important is this industry as a whole in Ohio? I know it's on display at the Ohio State Fair, but it's important 365 days a year.
Right. Well, Ohio is our #1 industry is agriculture. It's a $124 billion a year industry, so it's huge. In the impact in the rural community, from other businesses, workforce. And so this is a great way to showcase that part of our culture, agriculture. It brings the public together with the producers and the farmers, but it's just the best way to showcase not only future leaders and future farmers, but to tell our story.
Yeah, so certainly, we're here at State Fair, and that's where rural Ohio and urban Ohio often come together. Yeah. And, like all good things, it revolves around food. We all talk about fair food, but, food helps bring people together, and that's exciting. My wife and I grew up, we met at the Fayette County Fair, so lots of good things happen at fairs. Our summers, when the kids are younger, and even still today, revolved around the, scheduling Fayette County Fair, getting projects ready, and the state fair is the same thing. If you do well at your county fair and you get the opportunity to go to the state fair, it's the same thing. So that's what's important. And higher agriculture, not just my belief because I'm in it, but is the number one industry in the state. It's critically important. I've heard people say that when you sit around a table, if there's plenty of food, the conversation flows. All sorts of great things can happen. But if there's no food on the table, the only conversation is where we're going to get food. And we in Ohio and this country have been blessed because of farmers that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that was a great way to put it. I want to transition over into the legislature and legislating. What do you think are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges that Ohio farmers are facing today?
So I had the great honor and pleasure serving as president of Ohio Farm Bureau. And I always said that, farmers worry about the weather. They worry about being able to export their crops because typically we produce twice as much as the American consumer can eat. So we have to be able to export to be profitable. So those things are important. But I've always believed that the greatest risk to the next generation of Petersons to farm, and the next generation of Kings to farm in the state of Ohio is government. I mean, government has the ability to tax you and regulate you out of business. And in some places and sometimes it appears like maybe they've tried to do that. So I've been active trying to make sure that regulations are fair and minimal, and that taxes are fair but minimal, and small businesses and agriculture get the opportunity to farm and grow in the state of Ohio.
Rep. King, what about you? Do you think that not only your background and your district, do those both kind of inspire you to have, voice in the game, helping farmers and the agriculture industry?
Absolutely. Even though I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations, protecting and preserving our number one industry is so important, and it's why it's important to have legislators like Rep. Peterson, who's actively engaged in farming. I represent Ohio's number one district, and so it's, my number one mission is to protect and preserve, the family farm.
Absolutely. I want to ask, I know that we're on, our little bit of a summer recess, but legislative efforts that are making the biggest difference for farmers. I can think of one of the bills that you came on the podcast a while ago to talk about, which was an insurance bill, funny enough, but is, very important. So aside from that, or if you want to highlight that again, what else?
Well, what's the most important impact to Ohio agriculture? And I said at the time on the previous podcast that maybe the number one bill would be an insurance bill, making sure that farmers and small businessmen had access to health insurance, because so many people worked off the farm just to provide insurance. I mean, they would have rather worked on the farm to grow their farm, but they couldn't because they had to provide insurance for their family. So I think that's critically important. And what we've done with property tax is the other dramatic change and improvement. Property taxes, because they've dramatically increased over the last few years for a variety of reasons, many out of people's control. But by us rolling them back, help keep land costs lower, which goes straight to the bottom line of farmers across the state.
Yeah. Rep. King, anything else to add?
Echo what Rep. Peterson said. We were on a tour up in Paulding County in the 82nd district a couple of weeks ago, and met with a young farmer and asked him, what are the, kind of the struggles that you're facing, or how can we be helpful, and it was the insurance thing. This was a young couple, and they were using a healthcare sharing ministry, and so I do have a bill. It's it's nonprofit voluntary program, and so we're trying to ensure that it's properly classified as a charitable nonprofit and not insurance. So that's another piece of legislation that complements, I think, just to try it. It's a niche market, but that healthcare is real important for the family farm, for that they can stay and help the family farm. They don't have to go to town and get a job, or try to balance the farm with working outside to get insurance.
And I think that's why it's so important to have industry experts, whether it's the background or currently farming, working in this space, because a common person like me, you're thinking, okay, well, what bills help with the land, or what bills help with exporting? And here you guys are like, we need to strengthen insurance benefits for these folks so they can stay working in the industry. So Very important. Thank you. I want to transition to some fun questions now. I will start with your local fairs. So, Rep King, what is your favorite thing about your county fair before we talk about the Ohio State Fair?
So I have 3 county fairs.
Wow.
My favorite is the food, other than the animals
Okay.
and meeting people. I got to do all that. But it's the elephant ears.
Okay.
So elephant ears and the cattleman stand. Well, I should probably say pork producers too. They're very important too. I don't want to, you get offensive, but elephant ears.
Wonderful.
Elephant ears.
Okay. Rep Peterson.
So I characterize fairs as as family reunions, and it really is. I mean, I see people at the county fair that, I only see once a year, or somebody who's come back, who I haven't seen, 5 or 6 years, and they came back just for the county fair. They live states and states away, so it's a family reunion, and like we're continuing to talk about food, and all good family reunions have great food, and for my county fair, it's seeing old friends and eating food that may not be the healthiest for me, but I would highly recommend any producer booth, cattleman's booth, pork producer's booth, or anybody that serves good food and with a table and an opportunity to visit with friends.
And then I want to ask, is Ohio State Fair any different? I mean, it's kind of nice to have the joint committee, but anything else stick out?
These buildings and the improvements on the grounds are just incredible.
Okay.
And if you haven't been to the State Fair in a long time, come back, come see this place, and you'll find a lot more air-conditioned buildings. And it's, I worked at the State Fair in college, and so it's an opportunity to visit with friends and enjoy an opportunity to sweat outside.
Yep.
But we got air-conditioned places that you can enjoy and eat good food in.
Yeah, absolutely. Rep King.
It's huge. The space.
It is.
From one end to the other, but I was here last week, and it's so fun to walk through the barns and see the kids and to see the excitement they are to be here at the State Fair and their families here, and it's something they look forward to all year. And so, and that's what it is. Just the kids get a chance to showcase their projects. We're supporting future leaders, future farmers, and it's just all around a great place to be.
Well, and we're both from rural counties and farm backgrounds, so we just take for granted. But you see these kids with their livestock exhibits, and recognize that depending on the project, they've worked on this project for 8 months, 9 months, maybe a year, and they go down the barn caring for it every day.
Yeah.
And the work that goes into getting here and being the best of the best in the state of Ohio and showing your livestock or your electric project or your woodworking projects there is a true commitment, and the future's bright when you meet these kids and see these kids.
Yeah.
Hardworking, innovative, and when you have an opportunity to meet them and see what they've done, it puts a little smile on your face, and you think, okay, we're in good hands. The future is in good hands. Got great leaders coming up. So.
And we talked about the carousel.
Oh,
but
yes.
The carousel is at the one end at the north end or south end of the grounds, and it's incredible.
I haven't seen
You
it.
will never see a carousel like this anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
And most of the times when I've been past it till the last week, there's more 60-year-olds driving on the carousel than 6-year-olds. So it's good for all ages.
That'll be the comms
But
team.
most interesting animals and that you ride on. It's
Yeah.
good for seeing.
I love our history. I love our industries here in the state. It's a great place to be. Representative Angie King, Representative Bob Peterson, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Great being here.
Thank you.